On July 29th, 2024, the Xbox 360 Marketplace will close for good. While I get why it has to because of server costs and the lower amount of active users, still, it is sad because it's like another part of the past is going away. Before the 360, the original Xbox had a service called Xbox Live Arcade. It was a selection of downloadable games, mainly focusing on smaller titles or retro video games. In order to access this content, you need to obtain a physical disc to even purchase titles from this service. The disc also came with a free copy of Miss Pac-Man to play. Keep in mind, around this time internet speeds were not insanely fast, and many people were still switching from dial-up to broadband internet. This service went away when the servers for the original Xbox Live were shut down. For Microsoft's next console, the Xbox 360, the arcade service was upgraded in a big way, now called the Xbox Marketplace. It was accessible via the console's dashboard, being able to download games straight from the internet. There were several different channels for games to be released on the marketplace. The main way to get games was through the Xbox Live Arcade, or XBLA, as it was commonly abbreviated. It originally started off as offering smaller scope games that were not able to have full physical releases. Over the years, it would expand further to offer more substantial games, even some having physical releases after the digital one. Other downloadable content was offered as well, such as gamer picks, avatar items, and system themes, as well as videos. This was before YouTube was available on every device, so watching videos were a luxury. A second avenue for releases were games on demand, first focusing on original Xbox games, but was later expanded to games that had physical disc releases for the 360. The final release channel came in 2008, originally called Xbox Live Community Games. These were games made by indie game developers that were not able to offer full digital releases. They were cheaper experiences, but this gave developers a chance to release games on the Xbox 360, much cheaper than on the Wii or PS3 at the time. Every game on XBLA had to have a free trial downloadable so people can try every game. Demos were still popular during this time, still being offered in magazines and even made available to download on the marketplace. The kiosk in stores for the 360 even enabled you to put in a memory card and transfer a demo to play at home. Yeah, these things would phase out, especially once they had USB hard drive support. The marketplace launched alongside the 360 on November 22nd, 2005. Some of the most notable titles being Bugden 2, Geometry Wars Retro Evolved, and a small title called Outpost Kaloki X. It is a unique city builder. The game revolves around a planetoid where you have to build structures and facilities to earn money from outer space travelers. One thing I would like to point out is that apparently the original release for this game contained a few bugs. 2 of the game's achievements were not able to be unlocked. For an arcade title, this is especially bad because every arcade game was only allowed 12 achievements in total. An update for the game fixing these issues wouldn't be released until October of 2006, almost an entire year later. Can you imagine that? Over the years, I was able to acquire a lot of different XBLA titles. These games were the foundation for my Xbox gaming experience. When I think of 360, I think of these titles. So let's start with the one that introduced me to how weird people are online. Uno for the Xbox 360 was pretty popular back in the day. It was one of the first XBLA games to exceed over 1 million downloads. It offered a slick interface and some great HD visuals. Uno being an easy to understand card game adds to its ability to just sit back and play. The big draw was for a 4-player online multiplayer. I used to just hop on voice chat and talk all kinds of trash. Usually I lost, but still I had that competitive spirit. This game supported the Xbox Live Vision camera, a little webcam that allowed you to broadcast yourself to everyone else playing Uno. So of course, people being people, took that to show some, weird things, I'll just say. Online interactions was not as protected as they are today. This version of Uno was delisted before the shutdown, but is still available on the Xbox Live Arcade compilation disc that came with my 360 arcade model. Marble Blast Ultra is a sequel game to Marble Blast Gold, which was actually available on the original Xbox's arcade service. The goal of the game is to control a marble to the end of a level, similar to Super Monkey Ball or Marble Madness. You have to contend with physics and momentum to guide yourself through the levels, easy to understand but difficult to master. I've enjoyed playing this game, trying to lower my best times for each level, but I wouldn't say I'm good at it. I never beat the advanced levels. Often I would just get stuck and look up a guide on YouTube, but this is 2007 YouTube, so every video is very grainy. They would just show the most insane speedrun strats, and I'm just like, please, I just want a simple way to beat this level. The game is very addicting and fun. Unfortunately, the game was delisted years ago, but there is a spiritual successor in Marble Lit Up Ultra released for modern systems, and the PC version having Steam Workshop support with many levels from this game recreated by fans. Pac-Man Championship Edition was an updated HD reimagining of Pac-Man. It's the closest thing to a sequel the series ever had. Well, there is Miss Pac-Man, but that's a whole other can of worms. Unlike the original arcade version, the maze is horizontal instead of vertical. The game boasts techno visuals and music, seeing how fast and high you could get your score. They keep you on your toes when you eat all the packed dots on one side of the maze and eat the fruit. The other side refreshes with more dots and power pellets and a new layout. There are various modes to challenge yourself and to climb those leaderboards. Personally, I'm not very good at this game. I don't know, I thought I was pretty good at regular Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. Maybe I just missed the physical joystick in my hand, I don't know. Championship Edition is backwards compatible on the newer Xbox and is available on that compilation disc I mentioned before, as well as on the Namco Museum Virtual Arcade for the 360. N Plus is sequel/remake of the Flash game called N. The game has what I would call floaty physics, but in this case, it works in the game's favor, allowing you to better control your movements and easily carry momentum for your jumps. Around this time, retro games were starting to make a comeback in prominence, so this game with its level-based 2D artwork fit in like a glove. Especially with the focus being on white-knuckle hard level design, the game features a level editor to make your own creations. Here's a look at mine. Apparently this is how I got out my angst in my teen years. This game is backwards compatible and has a sequel called N++, which has over 4,000 levels. Portal was originally released alongside their Orange Box in 2007. It being the small, unassuming game in the collection, it garnered massive critical acclaim. Valve wanted to capitalize on this, which is out of character for them to be honest. Re-released Portal as a standalone downloadable title on Xbox Live Arcade. Portal, still alive, was released a year later and features 14 new challenge test chambers. These levels were based on a fan game called Portal the Flash version, actually a map pack that was created for the PC version of the original Portal, which goes back to how Valve would bring on modders to create new games. I was never able to beat the new levels as they offer a higher difficulty than the base game levels. These levels will stay exclusive to this version on the 360 until Portal came to the Nintendo Switch years later. As stated in the past, I'm not very good at fighting games, but even I can notice a good one when I see one. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was what can be considered the ultimate release of Capcom's Versus series, featuring over 50 characters to play as from both Marvel and Capcom. Its frantic, combo-centric 3-on-3 gameplay set this game as one of the most popular fighting games of the 2000s. But with the licensing of the Marvel characters, this game's availability was often hard to get, getting limited print runs for the Dreamcast, PS2, and Xbox back in the day. This game was, and still is, very pricey to buy yourself a copy. It was better with this version of the game released for both the 360 and PS3, featuring HD visuals, widescreen gameplay, and online support. Like many other titles, this game was delisted years ago, making those earlier console versions the only way to play this game. And it was until later this year with the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection bringing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 along with the rest of the titles in the series to modern platforms. Hydro Thunder Hurricane is a sequel to Hydro Thunder. Funnily enough, Microsoft actually purchased the rights before Midway went out of business. This is the only title they made, and boy is it a good one. The water graphics are phenomenal considering this is on the Xbox 360. The gameplay is fast, yet great to control. You go through outlandish locales, even through the Bermuda Triangle. Featuring 8 tracks as well as 3 more DLC tracks, the game features multiplayer, but I often just went through solo, and never even beat all the events in the game. This game is backwards compatible for newer Xbox, but I wish they would release another sequel as I think the world needs more arcade boat racing games. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was originally a series of graphic novels and later adapted to a feature film. A video game based on the movie was released alongside it in 2010. This series has many video game references, and the game has many as well. It's a beat 'em up in the same vein as Streets of Rage and River City Ransom. Back then, there weren't too many new games in this genre. You go through the levels being at Ramona's evil exes. Personally, I think this is way too much effort for a guy, but Scott is not that likable, so I guess it fits. The game was at one point delisted, but now it's been ported to newer systems. I purchased a physical copy so that way I could always have access to it even if the game gets delisted once again. Plus, they had me at the Sonic Adventure inspired box art. At one point, before Microsoft bought it, Minecraft was a small indie game exclusive to the PC. I didn't have a powerful enough computer to run it at the time, so while the game was gaining popularity, I had to sit on the sidelines watching YouTube videos and playing clone games like Fortress Craft. It wasn't until developers 4J Studios ported the Java-based Minecraft to the Xbox 360, finally allowing me to play it. This started off the various console ports for Minecraft. Of course, there's some concessions the games had to make to run well, namely limiting the world sizes. A big appeal to Minecraft is the random generating terrain. You can go almost endlessly in any direction to make the world to your liking. Each world being limited, of course, constricts you, but I don't think it's a big problem. You can always create new worlds. The journey is more important than the destination. I had a bad habit of starting a world, starting to build a base, then getting distracted and creating another world. Rinse and repeat. It's almost surreal going back to these old worlds, seeing creations that I don't remember making. What was I thinking? These console ports would continue until, now Microsoft-owned property, they consolidated every current version to what is known as the Bedrock Edition of Minecraft. Now everyone can play together, no matter the platform. Still, this original 360 edition is what got me to love Minecraft. The Xbox Marketplace served an important function in allowing you to experience games you otherwise might not have bought. By allowing players to access all kinds of content, the Marketplace opened up a world of possibility. While I can't show every single game that was available, this selection gave a pretty good idea of what we were able to experience on the Marketplace. Currently, there are over 100 games that have received a price drop before the shutdown, with some games going as low as 99 cents. While you're still able to purchase physical 360 games and play select backwards compatible games on the newer Xbox consoles, now is the time to make your final purchases on the Xbox Marketplace. With another online store closing, it's important that we preserve what we have today, because it might not always be there.